Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. So today's agenda and today's topic is two things: form validation using JavaScript and form validation using jQuery. Let's try to understand this in a continued part of. If you've not watched the video of the previous one, please watch this, which is very important. So let me jump into picking up the file. So I'll take the previous file which I've already created. I'll try to add more into this. I'll save it as form name validation .html. I would like to have more information here. Let us do this. First thing, I would like to have the fundamentals. What is that? The doc type, which is specifying that it is HTML5. If you type this, browser will understand doc type open this doc type HTML. Okay, so I think I'm wrong here. I would like to have the HTML tag open and close. Within this, I'll have the head tag open and close. I'll have a body tag open and close. And I'll go with the same form tag. Now I want to have a validation here. There are a couple of validations. HTML gives you the type validation by default. I would like to make this as a required validation. I'll save it, and as usual, let me open it. And if I click on the button submit, what should happen? Expectation is fill out this field. But what should be filled? There are many other attributes which we can add, but there is a problem. There is a problem. What is the problem? If I give 2 spaces, it gets submitted. But I want to check this space also. I don't want any additional spaces. How do I do it? Now comes your object concept. So now let's do this with the help of the JavaScript within the same page. If you want, you can write it in the separate page, but now I'll go with the same page. This is client side. This is client side. It works only if browser is enabled with it. Now I would like to have an event. I would like to have an event which will let us know whether it is validated or not. On submit, I need to have a function. Hope you remember we discussed about it. Okay, function fun one. So let me give you a simple example how validation can be done. So I need an ID now. I need an ID now. I need an ID, and preferably it will be the same as the name. And what do I need? A value. What is value? Now let us compare this with object concept, what we learned from the previous video. Every tag is treated as an object, property, and value. Okay, there is a value, property, anything which is typed will be a value. Good. Now I would like to write a simple one on submit. On submit, I want to get into a function. How do I write a function in JavaScript? Function name, keyword first, name, and then the flower bracket. Round bracket followed by flower bracket. This is where we code it. I need this object because JavaScript treats it as an object. This is an object. The entire document is treated with as an object called document. But what do I need? I need this object. So now I'll take a variable input underscore object is equal to document object, which is the first object, the body, dot get the element. Hope you remember I used the word tag or element. Get the element by its ID. Spellings is important. Case sensitivity. The ID is first name. Now I have an object. Hope you remember I was explaining about object dot property and value. So let me take one more variable. I'll call it as variable string is equal to the object name dot the value property. This will get the value. Now let me put it in an alert and I'll print that string. Okay. Alert is a function. This is a function which is I'm calling. So after this happens, I need to return a value, true or false, because whether you want to submit the form or not. So we'll discuss about that. So now let's see whether this is working as expected. Okay. Let me save this. Let me reload this. But the best practice is open a developer console. Why? If there is any error in your JavaScript, it will throw an error here. Okay. To check that, I'll click on this. It won't work. Now let me go with the positive cycle first. I'll click on create login. Yes, awesome. Whatever I've typed here, I'm able to read it. Now then it is submitted. Okay. So can you see this? I'm returning false. It is not submitting. So return keyword. Whatever it is coming here, it will read it and it will submit it. True will submit it, but I want to return this based on the length. This is a string. This is a string. Now it's very simple. You can learn about string here. Variable string is equal to Chandra. Now str dot length. There is a property called length. 7. str dot trim. What is trim here? Trim will remove all the additional spaces. So I have all these functions getting practiced here in the console. This is awesome tool. You have to learn this. Now let me place all these informations here. Based on that, I'll return the value true or false. Okay. Now I need to take the variable string is equal to string dot trim first. Trim it. Give it to the same variable. Then I'll take the variable length is equal to str dot length property. Everything is an object now. What is object? So now str is an object. What is string? It's a function. Chandra, how do you know it's a function? Round bracket, very simple. What is length here? Object comes first. This is the property which has a value. Based on that, based on this, we'll compare this with SSJS also. This length is important to return a value. Okay, so let me do this. I can write it in one line, but for now I'm just pulling one line information. Now, if the length is equal to 0, I'll take a variable result, which will be false initially. If the length is 0, return RE will be having false, else it will have the result true. But true and false are Boolean values. That's the reason I'm not writing in double quotes. And return what? Return RE. If it is true, it should submit. If it is false, it should not. Let me reload this. Submit HTML5. Space, it was not giving any error. Now it is blank. It won't get submitted. I can show all these messages using. Now what is the length? I'll give double space. Observe this. I've typed it. Now I can write the code here itself. Variable x is equal to document dot get element by ID. What is the ID? ID is first name. This is only for you people to understand. Now, x dot length. So it is actually x. X is an object now. X is an object. X dot value dot length. Actually, the length is 20 because I've given additional spaces. Now, x is equal to x dot trim. It won't work. Why? I need to take a string is equal to x is an object which has a value and that should be trimmed. Now, additional spaces are removed. X dot value. Now, observe the result. You have spaces here. Okay. So, whenever I type something, you should start mapping it with object property value, object property function, object property value, something like this. Okay, we'll learn that. So now, all the additional spaces will be removed. It has to remove, then only it should check and then it should submit. Now my code looks fine. If I click on this button, what will happen? Here is the code. If you click on the button, submit, it will take you to this code. It will refer all the items required. And if it is true, it will just return the value. No doubt about it. But I want to display the string and also its length. That is str.length. After trimming. Okay. So whenever you make changes, reload it. Double space. I'll click on create login. This looks great. The length is 16, but actually it is 20. 2 spaces in the beginning, 2 spaces in the last are trimmed. And we are going to result page. Now let me do this. Delete it. If I click on this button, fill out this field. I don't want this. I want something else. Placeholder. Enter your first name. Title. First name is required. Okay, exclamatory mark. I'll save it. I'll close this because everything looks good. This is the placeholder. When you type P, I want to change the color of it. How to do it? We'll learn it. But if I take the mouse over this, you can see first name is required. This is title. But if you click on submit, please fill out this field. Can we change this message? That's the homework for you people. Just know, can we change it? Now, if I give 2 spaces, if I click on create login, it's empty. The length is 0 because it is trimmed and it won't be submitted. It won't allow you to go. I need to display an error message here. Let's do that. I want to display an error message here. Okay, I want to display an error message. This is required. How do I do it? That's where we need additional tags here. Let me go with a span tag. And I want to display a message here. Let me give an ID. What is the ID? First name error. If there is an error, it should display. So what is that you need to do? You need to read this. Very simple. Read the document, read the object. You have to do this. If there is an error, if the length is 0, error is equal to document dot get element by ID. and this is an object, error object dot inner HTML. First name is required. Got it? But it is not cleanly been shown, but still, but there is no red color, right? Let's do that red color also. How to make it as a red color? Very simple. Error dot style dot color. Everything is an object here. This is fine. Good. This is where we need JavaScript. So we have a lot to learn down the line as and when we progress. Because now let's assume that this is a successful one and how to handle it. So we'll learn that down the line with JavaScript and SSJS also. But I want to perform the same, some jQuery stuffs. I'll copy this entire thing. Form validation JQ stands for jQuery 1.html. I want to show you very basic thing, but we'll have a separate training on jQuery itself. So all these are set ready, but I don't want this part as of now. I'll just remove only this coding because I'll write jQuery code now. But to write a jQuery, I need to have its library. This is the library. You'll get it in Google. Just copy paste it. I need to have this library first before the code where I write it. This is the first thing. Now I'll write the jQuery. jQuery, small similar kind of jQuery things. So dollar round bracket dot ready. So don't worry, when we train it, you'll get to know all this. There is a function, round bracket, flat bracket, and all the code goes here. And it is document object. When it is ready, then the validation should happen. So now I want to go with a very simple, very simple exercise. The beauty of using jQuery, dollar round bracket dot on focus. That is the focus. When this focus, I want to show some color. And when it is blur, means when you move out, I want to show something. I'll write very simple line code, and it is on the input tag. It is on the input tag. I want, when it is focused, I want to show some colors. I want to show some color. That's where we need function. If you understand the typing, don't worry, you'll learn this. Syntax. When it is focused, I want to show a color. Dollar round bracket dot CSS. It's a function. We need to pass two parameters. This is where function is important. Color is green on the input tag. The same line will be pasted here. You need to understand the events now, so don't worry, I'll show you the events. So this should be in gray color. While typing in green, I want to have a specific color. Let me see what it happens. Validation will be taken after this. Let's see. Yeah, this is green. But everything is green here. Because even this is input, right? So no worries, let it be in green. But blue color, I'm not able to see because I've written input. I'll change it to the object, the current object where I'm doing the event. The current object where I'm doing the event. I'll change, no double quotes. I'll reload this. Well, I type it, it's green. If I move out, This is event. When you click, it is focus event. When you click, it's blur event. One is blur, the other one is focus. But if you click here in this white area, it is a blur. Focus, blur. Focus, green. Click, blur. Focus, 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 focus. Good. So this is the beauty of the jQuery. Now I want to write some additional coding. So we'll do that validation. So when we have a formal training on jQuery, this syntax, when you see it for the first time, you might be wondering, why do we need jQuery? So we'll learn it when we know the pain of coding it in JavaScript. But JavaScript is the base for this jQuery. So having the knowledge on that will be very helpful. So with this, we have completed all the three things which we wanted to cover today, which is on form tag basics, form tag validation using JavaScript, which was very basic. So we'll have a lot of other validations which we need to learn. And before that, we have some topics to learn that will be explained in the next and upcoming videos. And all these are related to the upcoming videos, which is on SSJS and AMScript. Thank you for watching this video. I've completed all the three. So we'll have a formal training on each and every topic required. Hope it was a great session for you people. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening.